Hello, and welcome to Moments of Cheating. Let me take you to a place you've probably never been, a place where love lasts 10 years, and still gets replaced in just 2 weeks. Today's story is about trust, heartbreak, and the strength to let go when the one you love marries someone else, without even saying goodbye. 10 years. An entire decade of my life given to one person. 10 years of unwavering loyalty, of patient waiting, of building castles in the air based on his promises. Because he wasn't ready. Because we needed more time. Because someday, somehow, everything would fall into place. Then came that morning. The morning that shattered everything I believed in. I woke up like any other day, reaching for my phone with sleepy fingers. But instead of his usual good morning text, I found something that made my blood run cold. A wedding announcement. His wedding. With someone I'd never even heard of. Married. Just 2 weeks after our last goodnight kiss. James entered my life when I was 22 and naive. He was magnetic. The kind of person who could make you believe in fairy tales even when he never promised you one. Charming, ambitious, mysterious in ways that made my heart race. We began as friends, but gravity pulled us into something deeper. Something that felt profound and real, even without labels or public declarations. But there were always excuses. Always reasons why we couldn't make it official. We need financial stability first, he'd say, his eyes sincere. My family needs time to understand. Or my personal favorite, I want to build our future before we tell the world. And like a devoted believer, I waited. Heaven help me, I waited with the patience of a saint. Years passed like pages in a book I couldn't put down. While my friends walked down aisles in white dresses, I smiled genuinely for their happiness, even as my own heart ached with longing. When they welcomed babies into their arms, I crafted tiny blankets with trembling fingers, wondering when my turn would come. So when's your big day? Became the question that haunted family gatherings and coffee dates. I'd laugh it off with practiced ease, saying, soon, with a brightness that masked the growing doubt in my chest. Because I truly believed him. After 10 years, how could I not? The warning signs were there. I see that now with painful clarity. Messages that took hours to return. Business trips that seemed to multiply. That gnawing feeling in my stomach that whispered something was changing. But I silenced those whispers, convincing myself I was being paranoid. After all, you don't just replace a decade of shared memories overnight, right? 2 weeks before my world imploded, he visited me one last time. We curled up on my couch watching our favorite movie, the one we'd seen countless times before. He brought my usual coffee order and pressed a tender kiss to my forehead. His fingers intertwined with mine as he whispered, "You've always been home to me." Those words felt like a promise. They felt like forever. Then he vanished without explanation. No calls. No texts. Just deafening silence that grew louder with each passing hour. I convinced myself something terrible had happened. Maybe he was hurt, or in trouble, or dealing with a family emergency. I called his best friend, my voice shaking with worry. No response. Desperate for answers, I opened social media, and there it was. The post that would haunt my dreams for months to come. A radiant photo. Pure white dress. Perfect black tuxedo. The hashtag that felt like a dagger. Hashtag just married. The caption that destroyed me. The best day of my life. I found my forever. Time stopped. My soul felt like it had been ripped from my body and thrown into an abyss. I stared at that image for hours, refreshing the page obsessively, praying it was some cruel mistake or elaborate joke. But the congratulations kept flooding in. Hearts and celebration emojis. People cheering for a love story I never knew existed. He never called to explain. Never offered a goodbye. 10 years of my life, and he couldn't even give me a simple, "I'm sorry." The days that followed were a blur of emptiness. Food lost all taste. Sleep became impossible. Every song on the radio, every familiar street corner, every scent carried memories of him. I wasn't just grieving a relationship, I was mourning the death of who I used to be. The woman who believed in promises. The woman who had put her entire life on pause for someone who was never planning to stay. Later, through mutual acquaintances, I learned the whole devastating truth. They had been seeing each other in secret for months while he was still with me. She was his co-worker, someone who had been in the background of our story without me ever knowing. He proposed to her after just 6 weeks of official dating. They were married within 2 months. People often ask if I ever confronted him, demanded answers, or sought the closure I deserved. The honest answer is no. Because somewhere in my darkest moments, I discovered something profound. Closure isn't something another person gives you. It's something you give yourself. So I made a choice that changed everything. I packed away every trace of him. Photos, letters, gifts, memories, and did something I never thought I had the strength to do. I chose myself. I bought a plane ticket to a place I'd always wanted to visit and went alone. I started seeing a therapist who helped me understand my worth. I cut my hair short, a symbolic fresh start that made me feel powerful. Most importantly, I wrote down every broken promise I had forgiven and released them all into the wind. If you're reading this and you're holding on to someone who keeps you hidden in the shadows, ask yourself this crucial question. Are you truly loving them, or are you desperately waiting for them to love you back? 10 years of my life disappeared in 2 weeks. But here's the beautiful truth I discovered. I'm still here. I'm still breathing, still dreaming, still capable of incredible love. And for the first time in longer than I can remember, I am completely and utterly free. The woman who waited is gone. In her place stands someone stronger, wiser, and finally ready to write her own love story. One where she's the main character, not a supporting role waiting in the wings. If you've ever waited too long for someone who never chose you, this story is your sign. It's time to choose yourself. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more true stories from Reddit, and remember, healing starts when truth is finally told.